Hello, it's Susannah here from the Good Property Company. Excuse the camera work, I'm doing a little selfie. I'm in Brooklyn on the pier in the parks that they've just made overlooking Manhattan, and I've just had a fab time in Manhattan. I just want to well, Arthur's asked me to make some videos while I'm here, tackling some of the subjects that you guys have written into us and asked us about. So, how can I be successful in property? What attributes do I need? I've done a whole series on how to start in buy to sell, how to do renting, how to start being a landlord. You know, all that kind of stuff. The how do I start questions and maybe some of my observations on what makes people successful. And I want to finish off today before I go for my run, because I do think I'm probably putting the run off and I need to get going. And I also have the most extraordinary, can you see them? The most extraordinary tights. So these babies have got to be used. Watch out, Brooklyn. Something that you may sit there and go, ooh, that it could occasionally be me. And you know what? I'm sure it's all of us at time. What I've really observed in amongst all of the technical skills that people have when they're successful, as well as grit, good people around them, good coaches, good systems, and a real work ethic, the folks that are most successful have a really great positive attitude. And I don't mean like happy clappy and all the rest of it. What I mean is they own their mistakes. And the folks that are least successful, and I have met thousands and thousands of property investors. I have taught I think probably thousands of people now. So I've observed it with my own business. I've observed it with a whole bunch of mentoring clients. I've observed it with a whole bunch of sourcing clients. I've observed it with a whole bunch of workshop clients. And then I just observe it with my peers and all the thousands of people I've met in my time in this industry so far. Those folks that sit there and go, let me blame somebody else, they just do not long term show evidence of success. And I'm not trying to be mean here or kind of be rude or anything like that. I just want to observe a phenomenon that I see. And of course, I'm so fortunate I get to talk to kind of the most successful people in this industry. And you know, for me, I'm like, oh man, this is amazing. Let's like talk property. And you know what? Their language is positive. When they find a problem, they're like, okay, this is a problem. How am I going to fix it? Who owns this problem? How does it get solved? Move on. You know, they don't dwell, they don't go, it's your fault, you know, and then sit there with a massive blame game and a drain going on. And what I find is those guys who own the responsibility, even if sometimes the problem isn't of their doing, they're like, oh, well, you know, I'm still going to kind of own the larger responsibility and get this thing moving forward. They tend to be the people who are successful. They also generally tend to cut out negative people in their lives, and I'm not meaning brutally, but if you look at their peers, or at least in my experience, they're not sat with many drains kicking around them. Many folks that are sat there going, oh, you know, it's not my fault, I'm going to blame somebody else. So I think blame and hoping that it might be somebody else's fault is probably a human thing. I think we all probably have that gene or carry that kind of sentiment, and when you catch yourself doing it, just catch your language. And when I catch myself doing it, I try really hard to catch my language and go, right, you know, where does the responsibility lie? If it is over there, do I really want to hang out with somebody who's just a massive drain? You know, you've heard of radiators and drains, and the answer is no. So let me observe for a while whether they're just having a tough time or whether they're just a massive drain. And if they're a drain, I'm going to move away. Or is it something that I've done that maybe I could fix? Or is it something that I've done that I'm not going to repeat and I'm going to learn from, take responsibility, accept mistakes happen, and move on to the next thing? And that tends to be the kind of sentiment that I hear other people who are really successful do. So it's going to happen, you know, things are going to go wrong because this is property, you're being an entrepreneur, you know, the two things collide and mistakes happen or situations happen that are maybe not of your making at all. So figure out where the responsibility lies, take ownership for the bit that you perceive you are responsible for, fix that bit, step aside from the drains, just hang out with radiators and move forward, because those are the habits that I've observed, and I'm so grateful to be in a position that I'm fortunate to speak with people who are really successful in property and learn from those guys and really enjoy that kind of geeky conversation. But to a man and a woman, they are responsible and they don't sit and blame. So try and catch yourself. You know, if you can feel it welling up, just go make a cup of tea. And then and Ash and I, in our early days, when we were frustrated about something, and it was usually me, Ash is a lot more laid back and more, absolutely lovely, we'd go, right, 60 seconds, you can moan for 60 seconds, 3, 2, 1, go, time it, and then you know what, wheeshed, get on with it, move forward, make the next thing happen. So maybe give yourself a 60-second, and this was an idea that we took from Anthony Robbins, so thank you very much. Maybe give yourselves a 60-second, okay, I'm going to have a right good moan, and then do you know what? Nobody conquered the world moaning, did they? So pull your socks up, get on with it, and don't indulge in the blame game. Be a radiator. Anyway, good luck. I hope that's a small thing that's useful to you guys going forward.